Good afternoon. This is Ken Long from Tortoise Capital with a review of a trade sequence from today, July 1st, 2013. We're going to start off with the sideways quiet channel in XIV, the inverse volatility ETF, the anti-VIX, if you will. Right from the opening, we had a slight gap up, a stability area here, and then took out the high of the day about 20 minutes in, which triggered our entry at 20.35 with a 20-cent initial stop just below the low of the day. And it moved out smartly, forming the horns of the dragon up here around 20.85. And so that's our initial early alert to be ready to stock the exit. And upon it taking out the low of the previous candle there on the dragon horns, we take our exit at 20.75 for 2R. This is play number 3 in the regression line crossover framework, which is continuation pattern after a successful trade. Shortly thereafter, we get that this was that first trade. Now we're looking to see, after the regression line crossover, what's it going to do with respect to the Bollinger Band mean. In this case, it makes a swing low at about 2060. Noodles around, makes a higher low, noodles around, makes another higher low. This entire time we've got the regression line 90 and the Bollinger Band mean and the river all flowing upwards. We're cognizant of the high here at 20.82, the high of the day, the swing high of the ribbon, if you will. And so start ramping up my stalking here at with price around 20.78. I'm willing 20.75. Actually, I'm ready to buy this next little crossover, this breakout from the little compression zone. I buy this one at 20.75 with a 20-cent stop. Gets us down here just below the VWAP. And what I like about this is the 200 period regression line, the 90, the Bollinger Band mean, price ribbon, all pointing upwards, and my expectation is that if it gets through 20.82, there's going to be a sharp move up, and so I want to be postured for that. And I think that is, I interpret this little doji and increased price as the first step in that direction. So I go ahead and take that entry. It runs up to 21 pretty quickly, and we get an exit up there for about an R. Meanwhile, while volatility is working, Cliffs Natural Resources had a nice morning, a couple pullbacks to the Bollinger Band mean in each case, and now I'm buying the exit from the river here at 16.56 with a 10-cent stop, which is below that swing low and is also near the bottom of the river. It moves out smartly, and at about 16.74, we're holding almost 2R in hand, and so I go ahead and raise my stop here and lock in price at 16.65, which would give us about an R in hand and let it run. We exited shortly after this at about 16.70 for 1.5 R. When TNA was moving up is when we were trading the XIV and the CLF complex. And then what we observed was this sharp breakdown. Wasn't quick enough to be able to get this upon exiting the river. But rather than chase that, what I did notice forming inside the little circle here were the horns of the dragon after an extended move beyond the floodplain. In this case, it's to the downside. And so in the next, this doji here looked like a bottoming doji because it actually closed higher. And as it started to move out, I went ahead and bought a Anderson regression line stretch at 49.55. Now, I am using a 20-cent stop on this one for position sizing purposes, which is the solid red line, about halfway down to the VWAP and the 200 period regression line. The longer-term trend of this is up, though, because of the regression line 90 is still well above the Bollinger Band mean and above the river. So this looks like the anomaly, and so I buy it as it's re-entering the river. So it's stretched outside of the river with the ribbon, horns of the dragon, re-entered the river, buy it at 49.56. My target on this one is going to be up here to .77, the Bollinger Band mean, right where the 30 is crossing. But because this is a sharp move against the primary move of the day, I'm also aware that if this were to fail at the edge of the river or shortly hereafter, I'm ready to stop and reverse this with the idea that the next target on the downside would be around the VWAP, around 49.25. If it gets through the Bollinger Band mean, this is one that could go up and retest the high of the day, and then in retrospect we would have seen that just as shaking out the weak hands. However, what I'm anticipating or being prepared for is a similar play as this one, where we got outside of the river, and that was followed by almost an 80-cent move, which would be on a 20-cent stop, a 4R move to the upside, and so that's why I'm playing this as an anomaly, as a stretch to extreme conditions that is reversing. That's play number 4 in the regression line crossover framework. So I'm long here, but I'm ready to go short if it violates below the low of the ribbon or not later than the dotted line, and then I can still have a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio on the other side, which is what happened. So it got up to about 49.62 and then sharply reversed through the bottom of the ribbon. This is an instant stop and reverse. I executed this in TZA, which is the triple Russell short, but on a percent basis, it's exactly the same move, being the sister or the yin-yang version of TNA. And this one moved sharply down at 49.36 with a short at 49.50. We're already 3/4 of an R in hand, with a good possibility of reaching down here vicinity the VWAP. And so this is one you can already move to no lose on. And in fact, the fraction that we lost on the first trade is already in hand and overcome by this fractional win we're about to cash. What happens on this one is it gets down to 49.25, and we, upon the sign of reversal, we go ahead and cash that and pay for the first trade and pay for this trade, and then I buy another Anderson regression line stretch here, because what we've got is the price ribbon had still gone almost to 3 standard deviations below the Bollinger Band mean, found support down here, sharply reversed, so I buy it right in here at 49.48, and my expectation is still a good chance of getting back to the Bollinger Band mean, and we're able to cash this one a little bit later around 49.68 for an R. And so what we did today was hit a lot of singles, and we're prepared with our rlco regression line crossover framework to take advantage of the directional moves that were available to us today on what turned out to be almost a net zero kind of day for the market. It opened where, or closed near where it opened, and had a little bit of volatility intraday. So this is about 4R in the usual way, and a good day at work. So Ken Long from Tortoise Capital, thanks for your kind attention, and we'll see you in the chat room. Keep your risk measured and your eyes on the prize.